Can I say about my friends, I hope this finds you well. Today we step into an intimate and very tender moment in the life of Jesus Christ. They're in a room, Jesus and the disciples. The room is quiet, the meal's underway, and yet beneath the surface, everything's about to change, everything's about to shift. John tells us that Jesus having loved his own who were in the world, loved them to the end. He didn't love them halfway, he didn't love them conditionally. He loved them right to the edge of love. And then something amazing happens. Jesus, the Son of God, Rabbi, Teacher, all the titles they'd given him, their friend. He gets up from the table and he removes his outer robe. He ties a towel around himself. He pours water into a basin. He kneels down and he washes their feet. It's hard for us to feel the shock of that moment. But at that time when this was first done, foot washing, it wasn't just a humble task, it was one of the lowest tasks. It was reserved for servants. Anybody with any dignity avoided it. And yet here is the teacher, the Lord, the one they call Messiah, and he is kneeling. It's not just an act of kindness. It's a revelation to who God really is, because God is the one who kneels. Peter, as usual, open mouth, change foot. Peter, perfect Peter. He says, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? And then he says, you'll never wash my feet. Peter being Peter, of course. Because something in us, and this is great because this speaks to us, because what Peter is saying here is echoed in each and every one of us, because we resist that kind of love. Any of us, if someone tries to serve us in a deep, deep way, we will instantly almost try to resist it. We're often uncomfortable with being served in that way. We're more comfortable in appearing strong than admitting that we need help. Believe me, I know exactly where we are at the moment. Between this and the sciatica flare-up I'm dealing with today, I'm in a great deal of pain and I'm having to accept help from people. And it's hard. It is so hard because I'm used to just doing everything myself. It's exactly the same as us, because we want to be strong. We don't want to appear that we need that cleansing grace. We don't want to appear that we need Jesus' mercy. But I love Jesus' comeback to Peter. He says, unless I wash you, you have no share with me. Essentially, this isn't optional. You don't get to choose this. In other words, to belong to Jesus is to be served by him, to receive his love, to let him come close to those places that we would rather keep hidden, to let him clean the dirt from us. You see, each of us, you, me, anybody watching this, we've got this piece, this place in the middle of us where the shadows live. And every little dark impulse to be human is to have these impulses. Every little dark impulse, every little dark stain lives here. And we will instinctively pull back when Jesus gets near to that. Why? Because we don't want it exposed. Why? Because we don't like our dirty laundry being done. That's the end of it. We don't like being shown the darker side of ourselves. And so what we do is when he comes towards those places we would rather keep hidden, we pull back. We do a Peter. Lord, you'll never wash me. And that's the first movement of Maundy Thursday. It's not what we do, it's what we receive. You see, we receive a love that kneels before us. And Jesus says something else. He says, so if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, so you also ought to wash one another's feet. And this is the second movement of this part. And I know people tend to get hung up on Jesus simply washing the disciples' feet. They don't seem to remember this part. And that's fine. I mean, it's a massive moment. This second movement, what we receive, becomes what we give. Let me walk through that, because things can get a wee bit uncomfortable here, okay? Washing feet doesn't just mean the symbolic act that we do of going to church. It's not just a thing for Sunday morning. You remember that old saying, a dog is for life, not just for Christmas? I've always argued and said a church is for life, not just for Sunday mornings. Because church, it's more than a building. Yes, they're beautiful. Yes, we should keep them. But the church is in here. What makes us Christian is in here. When we're out there and we're out and about and we're living our daily lives, living the gospel, carrying Jesus, walking the path, happens in here. Washing feet doesn't just mean symbolic acts. It means rolling your sleeves up and getting in there. It means choosing humility in a world that rewards self-promotion. I am aware I have my own YouTube channel. I know. But what it means is noticing the overlooked. It means serving not just when it's convenient, serving not just when our bishop's looking at us, serving not just when other people are in the room. It means serving when it costs us something. How does that look? It could look with sitting with someone who is grieving, even when we ain't got the right words. It means forgiving someone who hasn't earned it. Believe me, I've had to do that recently. Caring for a family member, even when you're exhausted. I know the pressure I'm putting on my family, you know. It means listening deeply when you'd rather be heard. We live in a world where we're told, get your point across, get your point across. What if we stop and just listen for a moment? Really listen. Not wait for our turn to speak, but really listen. Foot washing is not glamorous. I've done it. 2 Maundy Thursdays ago, we had foot washing in church. I've done it. I've got down on my knees and I've washed parishioners' feet. And it was a truly, deeply humbling experience. It was the first time I'd done it as a priest. And I can think of a few experiences that crush the ego more. In a good way. Sometimes we need the ego stripping away. To kneel down and to wash my parishioners' feet was actually, you know what? They are a lovely community, but it wasn't actually my church I was in. So technically they weren't my parishioners, which is even better. I didn't know some of the people whose feet I was washing. I just got down and did it. It was deeply spiritual, and I heartily recommend everybody do it at least once. I know some of the guys of our community, you're either ordained or you get in there. Do it at least once. Wash the feet. And if you're not, go and have your feet washed. Again, to sit in that chair and to have a priest in front of you washing your feet. That is something else as well. I've been on that side of it. Because foot washing isn't glamorous. It's quiet and it's messy. Yet Jesus tells us you will be blessed if you do these things. Will not be admired. Will not be applauded. Will not be patted on the back and thought of as the great man. But we'll be blessed. Because in these small acts of service, we start to look a little bit more like Jesus. After Judas leaves and the shadow of the cross draws near, Jesus gives the guys a command. And it's genuinely one of my favourite bits of the Bible, if not my favourite. I give you a new command, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. That's why we call this Maundy Thursday. A little bit of learning for you here, guys. Why is it called Maundy Thursday? The word comes from, hang on, let me try and pronounce this now. It's a Latin word. Mandatum, there we go. Meaning commandment. Mandatum, mandate. There we go. Mandatum, mandate, commandment. But notice the command isn't just to love. It's to love as I have loved you. How did Jesus love? I'm glad you asked. He loved us by kneeling, by serving, by giving himself even to the point of death. It's not sentimental love, it's sacrificial love, it's authentic love, it's love that rolls up its sleeves and gets elbow deep in the muck. And Jesus then tells the guys, he says, by this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. Not by our success, not by our knowledge, not by our perfection, but by our love. And so today, my friends, we are invited into something deeply personal, deeply communal. Firstly, we allow Jesus to serve us. And that's hard, I know. To come honestly before him with all of our weariness, all of our failures, all of our needs, and to let him wash us again with his grace. And that is one of the hardest things we will do. I get it. I do. Then we ask ourselves, how can I follow him in service? Whose feet am I being called to wash? Then there's that question, where is God inviting me to kneel? Because the truth is, friends, the world is full. Out there is absolutely full to the brim of tired, wounded, overlooked, marginalised, forgotten people. And very often, very, very often, the most powerful witness we can offer, it's not a grand gesture. And this is what's going to break a lot of people's noodles. It's not filming it and sticking it on YouTube saying, look at me, I bought a homeless guy pizza. How about you do it without a camera? What that is, it's a quiet act of love. We don't offer grand gestures. We offer quiet acts of love. A towel, a basin, a willing heart. Today we remember what love looks like. Love looks like this. Love kneels. Love serves. Love gives. And us, you, me, we follow the one who first loved us until the very end. God bless you, my friends, and take care.